students, today is my second class for chemistry. In chemistry, just I am going to say about chemical reaction. In my previous class, just I have taught you already about chemical reactions, chemical equations, etc. In that class, I have said what is the importance of chemical equation? Means by using chemical equation, we can find what is the physical state of reactants and products which participate in that reaction. Second, by using chemical equation, we can find where the chemical reaction is exothermic and where the chemical reaction is endothermic. By using chemical equation, we can find which reaction is precipitation reaction. Means if in a reaction precipitate is formed, then you can find by seeing the chemical equation. By using chemical equation, you can find the evolution of gas also. How? Just I am going to say. Just I am going to write a chemical equation. Suppose that PbNO3 whole 2 aqueous plus potassium iodide aqueous. When they react, then PbI2 is formed. It is solid and KNO3 aqueous. Just in this reaction, PbI2 is a precipitate. It is called yellow precipitate. Yellow precipitate means when lead nitrate and potassium iodide both combined with one another, then a yellow precipitate called lead iodide is formed. And due to the formation of this lead iodide, the color of a whole solution turns yellow. Here, this lead iodide is formed in the form of precipitate, and I have used a sign of arrow which is pointed towards down. This sign of arrow which is pointed towards down indicates the formation of precipitate. Means if in a chemical equation you see a sign of arrow which is pointed towards down, then it indicates you that the formation of any precipitate takes place here. So by using the sign of arrow pointing towards down, you can find the precipitate in a chemical reaction. Second, by using chemical equation, we can find the evolution of gas. For this, just I am going to give you an example. Suppose that you have taken hydrochloric acid, which is present in the form of aqueous solution. When you put some zinc granules in it, zinc granule, sulfur means solid it is. When they react, then zinc chloride ZnCl2 is formed, and with it evolution of hydrogen gas also takes place. Just I have used a sign of arrow which is pointed towards upward. This indicates that in this chemical reaction gas is evolved. Means if in a chemical reaction gas is evolved, then it is indicated by using the sign of arrow which is pointed towards upward by this sign. So by using chemical equation or by seeing a chemical equation, we can find the formation of precipitate and evolution of gas also. Now today we have to discuss about what are the different types of chemical reaction. Chemical reactions are mainly of 5 types, but according to some books it is of 7 types. One by one just we will discuss. So I am going to write the name of all the type of chemical reaction first of all on the board. First chemical reaction is called combination reaction. Second is called decomposition reaction. Third is called displacement reaction. Fourth is called double displacement reaction, and fifth is called redox reaction. So these are the different types of chemical reaction. Just I am going to write the name of all the type of chemical reactions here, and at that part just I will discuss. So I am going to write types of chemical reaction. Number 1, combination reaction. Combination reaction. Second is called decomposition reaction. Third is called displacement reaction. Fourth is called double displacement reaction, and fifth is called redox reaction. In some books, redox reaction is present in the form of oxidation reduction reaction or reduction oxidation reaction. So these are the 5 main types of chemical reaction, and after the completion of these, just I will give 2 more reactions, means neutralization reaction and precipitation reaction. But these are the main 5 types of chemical reaction. So just I am going to explain one by one. First is combination reaction. Combination reaction. Its general format is A plus B gives C. Means, first of all, just I am going to define it. What is combination reaction? Those chemical reactions in which 2 or more than 2 substances get combined and form a new substance called combination reaction. Once again, those chemical reactions in which 2 or more than 2 substances combine and form a new substance is called combination reaction. Here in this format you are seeing A is a substance, B is another substance, and when both get combined, then a new substance C is formed. So if in a chemical reaction 2 or more than 2 substances get combined and form a new substance, then it will be the example of combination reaction. And for this, just I am going to a number of reactions on the board. Listen, see carefully. First is, suppose that H2 means 2H2 plus O2 gives 2H2O. Second is C plus O2 gives CO2. Third is N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. There are many reactions. You are seeing here. In all chemical reactions, 2 or more than 2 substances get combined and form a new substance. For example, in this reaction you are seeing hydrogen is a substance, oxygen is other substance. When both get combined, then a new substance, water, is formed. In this second reaction, carbon is a substance, oxygen is other substance. And when both get combined, then a third substance, carbon dioxide, a new substance is formed. In this reaction, you are seeing nitrogen is other substance, hydrogen is other substance, and when both get combined, then a new substance, ammonia, is formed. So in these reactions, 2 or more than 2 substances get combined and form a new substance. So all are the example of combination reaction. Suppose that I have 2 substances, one this, and when both get combined, then a new substance is formed. So this is the example of combination reaction. Now we will discuss about decomposition reaction. Here, just I am going to write decomposition reaction is just opposite of combination reaction. Decomposition reaction. Just I said, decomposition reaction is a just opposite of combination reaction. You will see its general format is C when breaks, then it gives 2 new substances A plus B. You are seeing here, C is a substance compound and it gets broken, it breaks and gives 2 new substances. Suppose that I have this new substance. When it breaks, then now I have two new substances. So this will be the example of decomposition. Because what is the meaning of decomposition? Decomposition means breaking. Means when single substance breaks into two new substances, then it is called decomposition reaction. Once again, what is decomposition reaction? Those chemical reactions in which a single substance breaks into two or more than two new substances are called a decomposition reaction or decomposition reactions. And for this, just I will give a number of examples. For example, first, CaCO3 when heated, then it gives calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Second, 2H2O means water. When electricity is passed, then it breaks into hydrogen and oxygen. Third, AgCl means silver chloride. AgCl, when it is kept in sunlight, then it breaks into silver and chlorine. So all are the example of decomposition reaction. Here you are seeing calcium carbonate is a single substance, but when it breaks, then it gives two new substances. Means breaking takes place here. Breaking means decomposition. In second reaction, water is a substance, but when electric current is passed, then it breaks into hydrogen and oxygen. Here you are seeing breaking takes place in water due to electric current, and when water breaks, then it gives hydrogen and oxygen, two new substances. In third reaction, silver chloride is a substance, but when it is kept in the sunlight and due to the effect of sunlight, it breaks into silver and chlorine, which are the two new substances. So in all these chemical reactions, you are seeing a single substance breaks into two or more than two new substances. So all are the example of decomposition reaction. But just I have given here three different types of decomposition reaction. It means decomposition reaction is of three types, and for that just I have given you different types of example already. So now we will discuss what are the different types of decomposition reaction. Decomposition reaction is three types. First is called thermal decomposition reaction. It is the example of thermal decomposition reaction. Second is called electric decomposition reaction. It is the example of electric decomposition reaction. And third is called photo decomposition reaction, and it is the example of photo decomposition reaction. What are the differences? It is very easy. It is very simple. For example, what is thermal decomposition reactions? Means those chemical reactions in which single substance breaks into two or more than two new substances on heating. Means when we heat a substance, then it breaks into two or more than two substances, then it is called thermal decomposition reaction, because thermal means heat. Second is electric decomposition reaction. Means those chemical reactions in which a single substance breaks into two or more than two new substances, when electric current is passed, then it is called electric decomposition reaction. And third is called photo decomposition reaction. Photo means light. Means those chemical reactions in which a single substance breaks into two or more than two new substances, when it is kept in the sunlight, then it is called thermal decomposition reaction. Photo decomposition reaction. So I have written three different examples for different types of decomposition reaction. Just I am going to write here the different types of chemical decomposition reaction. This is the example of thermal decomposition reaction. This is the example of electric, B number, electric decomposition reaction. And C number, it is the example of photo decomposition reaction. Photo decomposition reaction. In this way, we are seeing here decomposition reaction is of three types. Thermal decomposition reaction, and for this just I have given this example. Second is electric decomposition reaction, and for this just I have given this example. and third is photo decomposition reaction. For this, just I have given this example. Since in decomposition reaction, single substance gets broken into two new substances, and in combination reaction, two substances get combined and form a new substance. So both are just opposite of one another, and so we can say decomposition reaction is just opposite of combination reaction. Third chemical reaction, just I am going to write. What is your third chemical reaction? Your third chemical reaction is displacement reaction. What is the meaning of displacement? Just you will see here. But for this, you should remember one thing in your mind, that in displacement reaction, out of two reactants, one reactant is present in the form of compound, aqueous solution, and other reactant is present in the form of element. Third is displacement reaction. Just I am going to write a general format for this. AB present in the form of aqueous solution, this compound, when it reacts with C, it is present in the form of solid. Then a new substance CB and A are formed. Here you are seeing an atom which is present in a compound is displaced by another atom or a group of atoms. Means those chemical reactions in which an atom or a group of atoms present in a compound is displaced by another atom or a group of atom, then it is called displacement reaction. Here AB is a compound which is present in the form of aqueous solution. When it reacts with another element C, an atom of element C, then since C is more reactive than A, so it will displace, and this C reacts with B and forms CB, and A gets displaced from the reaction. For this, just I am going to give an example. Suppose that just you can take iron solid, it is present in the form solid state. When it reacts with copper sulfate, CuSO4, it is present in the form of aqueous solution, it is compound. Then they will give FeSO4 plus copper. Here you are seeing that since iron is more reactive than copper, in copper sulfate solution, copper is cation and SO4 is present in the form of negative anion, means radical, negative radical. So since iron is also cation, means it has the capacity to form cation, then since both have same nature, and since iron is more reactive than copper, so it will displace the copper, and this iron gets combined with the SO4 and form FeSO4. But since copper is less reactive, so it gets displaced. So we are seeing here, in this reaction, an atom or a group of atoms which is present in the compound gets displaced by another atom or a group of atoms. So such type of reaction will be called displacement reaction. One equation just we will take more. For example, zinc, when reacts with CuSO4 present in the form of aqueous solution, then they will give ZnSO4 plus Cu. Since zinc is more reactive than copper, so it will displace the copper from the copper sulfate solution. As a result, they will give zinc sulfate and copper. So this is the type of displacement reaction. And at last, just I will give you double displacement reaction. What is double displacement reaction? Means those chemical reactions in which reactants exchange their radicals. Reactants exchange their radicals is called double displacement reaction. Double displacement reaction. Its general format is AB AQ plus CD AQ gives AD plus CB. Here you are seeing both the reactants are present in the form of aqueous solution. Both are compound here. In displacement reaction, one reactant was compound and one reactant was other reactant was element. But here both the reactants are compound. Both are present in the form of aqueous solution. And here both exchange their radicals. You are seeing here in this compound A and B are present together and C and D are present together. But here, since A is more reactive than C, so this A displaces the C from CD compound. As a result, AD is formed, and this C reaches to the place of A, and here it reacts with B and gives CB. Since here both reactants exchange their radicals, so this is the example of double displacement reaction. And for this, I am going to write a chemical equation. Known equation it is lead nitrate plus potassium iodide. Since iodine is potassium is more reactive than lead, so it will displace the lead and form potassium nitrate. And this lead reaches to the place of potassium and reacts with iodine and give PbI2. So this is also the example of double displacement reaction. At last, just I will discuss about a redox reaction. But since redox reaction will take a long time, so just I am going to define it, and in my next class just I will discuss about that. What is redox reaction? Those chemical reactions in which oxidation and reduction both take place simultaneously are called redox reaction. Those chemical reactions in which oxidation and reduction both take simultaneously are called redox reaction, and we will discuss about redox reaction in our next class because it will take a long time. Okay, you have to listen carefully, make short notes on it. Thank you.